about being not so isolated into those formal things where you go ahead and you read out that this
Yeah.
person has a
In the suits.
pedigree of
In the suits.
like, yeah, so much pedigree, and it can be as informal and as easy to go. But this stream is somewhere which lies like, so we have been doing these set of streams where we are questioning people around their product and answering around their product utility, and eventually coming to the point, because this was a DAI landscape. First, it was a deepen landscape, then it was a DAI landscape, then it got DAI landscape, and now it's agent and it's autonomous and narrate very. It's definitely very narrative driven, but you guys are doing an amazing amount of work. And first, let me introduce everybody to everyone. We have Prashant, who is the CEO and co-founder of Spheron. We have Melvin, who's building DevDoc and Bernie, and we have Guto, who's building Replicats. So everybody in the room is supremely excited about AI, supremely excited about this space. And I will tell you something honestly. Today I made this tweet. Yesterday I had this meeting with Guto, and he said that he's been into this space for so long amount of time in crypto space, and everybody is circle jerking some set of people in a closed space of room, and it has to stop, and that's why Replicats has a whole trajectory of working towards Web2 applications as well, right? So this whole direction of products, it's the whole direction of keeping the flywheel rolling, creating different set of programs, what kind of things. So that the whole discussion is going to be around that. You would have the option to showcase what you are building. So absolutely, you can share your screen and showcase like for example, what Bernie is doing, what Replicats is doing. So this is a very builder based stream, honestly, and this is what space I think this space really needs is more fresh atone ideas of it. I have sent a set of questions to you guys, but honestly, we can ask questions which could make you uncomfortable, not in a way that we would ask like, would your token dump, but like it's something on the outside of it. But starting this session, I would love to have you. So we used to do the shill in the end, but this is the very start of the session. So I'll love to know what you guys are building. And Guto, you can start, then Prashant, then Melvin, you can go ahead and you can tell what you guys have been building.
Sure. No, do I need to go first?
It's open,
Yeah.
like anybody can go. Yeah.
Aside, yeah, Guto, you can go first, and then
All right,
I'll.
okay. How's the audio? Audio is fine for you guys?
Yeah, it
Actually,
is.
awesome. Guys, first things first, Prakash, thank you so much for the invitation. For me, it was a pleasure to yesterday have jumped in a conversation with you because I heard about Sphere a few months ago, and this is a project that actually I was benchmarking. And it feels good to be working and to be having a conversation with people that actually I do respect in this space, right? As you said, my name, like, let me start. Like, my name is Guto. I've been working in crypto, as you said, like for quite some time. I started in 2017, just like trading, and suddenly lost my money, made money, like the whole thing over there. But when it came like 2018, 19, I actually started working really with blockchain. And my first touch point was actually through ETH Berlin. I was based in Berlin at the time in Germany. And that was for me like the first moment that I actually got inside this community of builders, mostly Ethereum, like people who were building the first startups over there. We had already some of them like Gnosis. Gnosis was big in Berlin at the time. Also, Aragon had some stuff over there. And I just went through this path of learning what people were actually building through smart contracts, right? Later, I moved to work in a layer one blockchain called Hatter Network, and ever since, worked with a few projects in DeFi. Mostly, I did some go-to markets as well. And since January, since December, actually, I started with my co-founder Bernardo building Replicats. And what we're doing on Replicats is we're building like most of everyone is doing these days in the virtual space or some other spaces as well. We're building an agent. We started with just one agent right now, which is Replicat One. The idea is we came up with this new architecture because we saw that most of the people, a big disclaimer over here, I'm not the technical guy, I'm the business marketing guy. So you guys can get me with some tough questions. If I don't know, I'm going to ask my team and bring back to you guys. But we started in December with this idea that large language models were used well for trading. We saw that there was a lot of noises. They were hallucinating as well. And Bruno, who is also a co-founder that started with us back then, he used to be one of the younger researchers on OpenAI 10, 15 years ago. I don't know, I don't recall the time frame, but he came up with this new architecture. Instead of using large LLMs like for chatting, we would be using graphs to take all the information that we could from several data sources, bringing it up inside. After we got over there, we would find a way to treat that data and build an agent that would take decisions based on that data. Also, since the beginning, we decided that this agent would actually be focused on bringing stable returns instead of just like finding the super alpha. He would actually be looking on entry positions on Bitcoin, Ethereum, other majors, and right now it's trading on base. And the idea is like we want to make this agent outperform buy and hold Bitcoin. That's the first agent that we're building right now. Replicats has this idea that we're going to become a marketplace. So, for example, if someone has an idea of an agent, they can use our framework, even the risk management side that we're building everything in house. So they can find like the risk management and build the agent. So this is an agent that's going to be finding alpha based on wallet search. This is something that we're not building, but we're going to enable people to do so. And as Prakash said, like we can talk about this later, but we're doing after so much time into Web3, I'm super excited because we're doing a step back and we're moving to something that's Web 2.5. We want to make this product available for people who don't know much about blockchain. But we can discuss about this later. Who's the next one?
Yeah, but this is pretty good. Like, it's I don't know. I have two set of thoughts on this. Like it is AI agents is fresh to see that a lot of people are doing AI agents right now and doing yield-based things on top of it. But also there are a lot of people who are doing that. It's a very big
Mm-hmm.
red ocean of things like in terms of AI 5. But I'll come to my questions later, but I'll move on to Prashant right now. And Prashant, what are you building at Spheron and what are we building at Spheron? And what is like and also your POV on AI-Fi and all of because I think you have mentioned it in to your articles and it's also been there like it's we have been marketing it quite uh, heavily into understanding that this POV needs a new refreshed change or I would say a direction. So what's your viewpoint on this as a secondary part of the question? So yeah.
Yeah, so I'll get started with the first thing, like what we are building. So I think you might see there is nobody sitting in the back seat of yours where that massive machine is currently sitting with the light and fan running on, right? And nobody using it. So, but
Yeah.
the beautiful part is that's still running on Spheron and it's powering Spheron network. Anyone can go ahead and lease out that machine from Spheron. It is 4070 Ti, which is attached there with 16 GB VRAM, and you can run a small models on top of it or whatever you want to do inside that machine. Okay, so that's what we do at Spheron. Very real time, very natural. We allow you to sell any 16 idle capacity without any BS. You go ahead, you install. There are two kind of libraries to install. One is for somebody who has a laptop, who has a machine to go and power it. They can just go ahead and do it. Connect the machine, share the compute power, and earn out of it. Right? That's one thing. Very simple and straightforward. Second is like somebody who is more into enterprise and all of those business. We basically ask them is like, again, share your machine, connect the devices, but in a more secure and different way. There's a provider, Kubernetes, and all of the stuff which I'm not getting into. But we have two systems called Provider and Fizz. Fizz is for normal retail devices, and providers are for high-end customers and GPUs. And on the other side, we are selling GPUs. We are going to be selling GPUs to some of the best companies out here, including if whenever Replicates or Bunny and all of these teams we ever need in the GPUs, we want to become their data center partners where we help them to find the best deal out in the market. Dot. So essentially, if I ask today, very simple question to go to or even Bernie, and apart like if even if they plan to go ahead to procure a GPU, I bet them what they are going to do or their team is going to do is they will type on Google like what is the rental price or I want to rent this GPU and blah blah blah. But this is not how the business works. In this case, you always get paid or sold the highest amount of GPU whenever you do a Google search result, right? Because most things which are important and most things which are sold, they are not on Google search results. They are behind the Google search results. So that's where we come in. We also help startups to procure, find the best deals in the market because we work very closely with data center. We have a good friendship with them, and we ensure that project we work with, they win along with us. Like so, they make money, we make money. This is how the win-win game basically goes into, and we help them to lower the cost. I'll pause here. But yeah, this is on a very high level, the two verticals in which we work. Melbourne.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Prashant. That's actually pretty in depth for also for us also to use the technology to bring down our costs as well. I'll just quickly give an intro about what we're building. So we are building Bernie AI. So we started with this whole concept of an entertainment agent. It's like everyone talks about utility. What we realized is that one of the key things when it comes to consumer use cases always is that they get attracted to not fringe, I would say, but more like fun things first. Like whenever we started getting into onto the internet, the retail always came from stuff like Yahoo Chat, Gmail, or not even Gmail, it was Hotmail at the time. And so these are the kind of use cases, fun use cases. People are forwarding messages. That's what people were doing at that time, right? So one of the things with crypto, as you rightfully mentioned, is that we are simply going around selling our block space to each other, selling our services to each other in Web3. And to break that mold and go into Web3, go into the real world, I believe there's something that needs to appeal to them and something that is trending. And that's kind of how we started off with Bernie. What we realized is that there's this whole new wave of vibe coding that has come up, in which folks who do not even know how to code, who have never developed or written a single line of code today, can make applications. And this is catching on. I'm sitting here in network school in Singapore, and one of the things what I realized is that we basically have a vibe coding competition this weekend, and none of the um, criteria for it is no one needs to know how to write code. You can just go on to Claude, write your code right there, deploy it, and you have a URL that is working. And this
And
is
test
pretty
it on prod.
and that's so we're seeing this trend happening where anyone can be a builder. Right. So we're seeing a huge mass of people coming into AI, coming into just doing a certain kind of activity they were not doing before, and that's a trend. And that's a trend that is trending upwards. More and more people will come. They'll start figuring out how to build their own websites, everything, and all those kind of things just by vibe coding. So that is one trend that we saw. The second thing that we saw is that there was this huge thing that's happening on YouTube and Twitch and everything, is that people are vibe coding and other people are watching others wipe code. It's like Twitch
Yeah.
streamers, Twitch streamers, so basically gamers, and other people are watching them play games. So we thought, okay, we can make this, amplify this even more with a reality show. Right. Think about like Master Chef, but for vibe coders. Instead of Gordon Ramsay, we have this character called Bernie, and Bernie is a master roaster. We fed
Nice.
so from an intelligence side, we have actually fed a lot of developer documentation, etc. And instead of making it into a cursor, we thought, okay, well, let's make it into an entertaining character, right? And we are hosting our own vibe code challenges, etc., in which he's basically, it's basically a reality show where folks will actually vibe code and Bernie will roast them and then decide who's the winner. So that's kind of how we are thinking about AI agents coming into the foray. And also trying to our thesis on in terms of adoption, and how we are basically seeing this. So once we actually do this, so this is our first prototype agent that we're basically like, hey, if roast is a template on which we can do it, then you're actually looking at a new kind of a media house in which AI agents are the hosts. AI agents are basically producing stuff. You don't need the long this thing of production budgets, etc. AI will create content. AI will actually deliver the content, and all you need to do is come up with ideas. So this actually brings down the barrier of for entry for a lot of creative people, and that's how we're seeing this whole trend moving forward. And this is our one of the many agents that we want to put out there. But hopefully we'll be experimenting. We'll be actually going through a full cycle of figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and get to a point where we can make this successful.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
like I
think
think
so. Sorry to
yeah,
cut you off.
go
I
ahead.
just want to put this on. Sometime I just hijack this space. Okay. Uh, so,
It's not sometimes.
so so essentially, the Melvin, the point which you have put and the reason Prakash have told, and I also laughed on that is like put on the production. Essentially, what happened a few days back was like we have given, and that's when I have created my own theory of what AI agents are going to be. Okay. So that guy, like he's our product guy, he basically built the code and he pushed the production. And then you know what happened in production? Just guess. Demand came, it went down.
Okay.
So then our CTO had to jump in, then our tech team had to jump in. They
Of
had to
course.
fix the entire code, the shittiest code which that AI has wrote.
Right.
Um, but but there's one thing which I have while we were doing because we have done many things in a vibe code. Like we have literally built a production grade codes.
Mhm.
But what I have realized is that AI, that's where people go little wrong in terms of like how AI should be looking into in the couple of like years down. Not I would not say like it is going to change in next 1 year. At least it is going to take 2 years, 3 years down the line to like evolve it aggressively because of a couple of limitations which are there, which is probabilistic, mathematical, and all of those stuff. But on the foundational layer, what I have understood is like AI helps you to move your position vertically in any company. Okay. So generally, if you look at the position movement in a company, so if you're a developer, you become senior developer, then you become this developer, that developer, then you become founder like solution engineer, and all of those like category come into the picture. But these guys never become a marketer or sales or a product engineer or any of those stuff, right? What AI essentially does, it makes them this to become. Okay, it gives them a +1 vertical jump immediately. Okay, so you can be a solution engineer, you can be a product engineer, but you can also be a developer along with it. Okay, or you can be a sales guy, but you can also automate your entire stuff utilizing this, not even realizing that you are doing a developer work, right?
Right.
So that's what I have kind of learned, and just wanted to add this point on before I even forget that. So and that's what we realize, and this is what we need for this point of time, where for me as a like company where we are just getting on a lot of these podcasts, a lot of times we end up in not spending multiple times on different social medias and all of the stuff. So like how can I automate that? Very simple theory. Like I have built it for my team. My team, I don't know if they are using it or not. We have built an assistant
He's
around like
charging
social
us.
media.
That's why
Yeah, we actually are charging. I, I
he
said like, bro,
built a
I write
SaaS
for
for
it.
us.
I write for it. I sold this guy. These are my first customers. So so that's what I basically like feel like where the AI is heading towards, and that's a beautiful way because as a I'm not designer now, I can think about a design. I
Right.
can go and put that design into text, and I can put that text into some video generator, image generator, and ask it to just give me the design, right?
Right.
So now imagine we have not yet seen portraits in our house. Earlier, we used to have a portrait in our house designed by one artist. Now we are ourselves are the artist. A prompt is your art, I
Yep.
call it,
Damn.
right? So, so
That's really true. Nothing is stopping creative people from actually building anything anymore. The skill is not a barrier. That's kind of what we're kind of realizing. Like Earlier, to do something, you needed to spend X amount of years just being good at just doing certain things in a certain way so that the outcome is perfect, and then you put in your creativity and build things and bring your ideas into it. Today, that's with AI. I believe that's kind of what it has replaced. That the skill learning curve has actually been cut down almost. Like I
Yeah.
even saw an app where you just hum the music into it, and it will actually create the whole track out of it. Like for your
Damn.
beats,
Yeah.
it will
And
actually create
it's
the beat out of it.
It's fascinating this the example that you said, Melvin, when you started. Well, for me, was super excited to see that you are actually going into this market. Just yesterday, I was talking. I have this good friend, like a friend of mine from that I met in crypto, right? And she's a marketeer. She started out of the blue doing some vibe coding sessions, and the vibe coding was evolving. She was creating, started with a few ideas. She was doing design. Later, she moved to content stuff. She would start to move over there. Suddenly, a few days ago, she created an app, which is called the Crash Out Diary, and pretty much like everyone can come up to this diary. Over there, you have a conversation with an AI that's tailored. They have a few personas over there, and just yesterday, she published on Twitter. She had no code experience, and she had like 14,000 people using the app yesterday, a few days after launching. So I think like the AI, the like how fast that you can bring an idea that as a non-technical guy, this is my non-technical perspective, right? Uh, you had all this process of ideation, like because it was expensive to come up with a project manager, product manager, field devs, UX designer to come up with an app for you. So you used to take so much time. Even if you went super lean, would take a few weeks for you to come up with a prototype. And now just a few prompts, you can get like a fully working prototype. Of course, like it's not a final product. You still need to go through. I've been seeing like that became a meme. The thing about like people not taking care of security, so you had like data. Either way, like this is gonna get better. But for me, it's fascinating to see how people like her name's Karima, and Karima yesterday she was showing like 14,000 people using her app, and people coming up to say, hey, you have to productify this. So I never saw like such a fast curve of iterating, trying, finding product market fit, and pushing into an app. And as you said, like I think it was brilliant what Prashant just said about like the way that you go on the verticals right now with AI. It is what it is. Like this is what makes me more bullish on AI. It's like this, and it's also part of our, like I have to show as well my product, because this is part of our thesis as well. We believe that like the thing about AI is cutting time, right? Like time is money. You need like a shorter periods to try stuff, innovate, blah 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 blah. We're bringing the same view over here into the wealth management as well. We believe that this is going to be the fastest way for you to like to not spend time in front of the computer, but you have actually an AI that's going to pick you by the hand. Okay, I understood your patterns. I understood what you said through this. We have like a conversational model as well plugged into the trading system, the trading AI itself. The trading is the AI, and comes up with a thing for you that actually cuts time. And I think this is the beauty of what we're seeing with AI right now, and I'm super bullish on
I
this.
think before when we end our call, we should definitely talk like to both of you guys also, because what we are building, would love to kind of get you guys integrated there. It would be amazing to see that happening. But yeah, I'll
Definitely,
hand over the mic
definitely.
to Prakash, or else like I'm like
Yeah, no,
hijacking everything.
no, this is no hijacking. I think this is what I like about the space. It's very laid back, very chill, and it has its own set of waves coming to it. And speaking of waves, I think you guys are both live on the Virtuals platform, if I'm right. Congratulations, Bunny. I think you guys just did it recently, and you guys were oversubscribed, and you saw a good amount of people chiming in, and you guys are literally trending on their platform. So yeah, congratulations for that. And Guru, you guys have already. I think I have seen that you guys have been already live on the virtual platform. But do you think this whole space, this platform launching and utility, like these are two different things? Like, is virtual just
Hmm.
acting as a invisible garden where things are always jolly and liquidity is coming in and things are happening just because there is an interest market that is developed with time, or you think for people who are creating agents, there are more avenues for product owners and developers as well, where they can actually go ahead and utilize it into other markets as well? Because you see that there are some set of people who get this visibility from virtuals, yes, but there are some set of people who are creating this outside of virtuals as well.
Mm-hmm.
And initially, and the final was just finding utility for these agents per se. Like, so what's that journey like? You guys have done it, so we want to understand more deeply, like somebody as a founder, anybody who's watching this, who should be able to, like, okay, I am launching a AI agent right now, it has this kind of utility, I'm doing it in web 2, I'm doing it in web 3, or I'm doing it in the virtual ecosystem. Like, what's the whole navigation onto these things? And this is open space. Anybody can
So
jump in onto
I
this.
Awesome.
go ahead, go ahead.
Gonna go. So I'm gonna tell from my experience, Prakash, is what we did. Like what actually virtuals do is like they offer you the launchpad, right? So you use the token for launching your agent. It goes just like a bonding system, just the way as Pump Fund does, for example. In our case, and then you after that you can like make your agent connect to the framework that they are building. It's called Gain, right? And you create the agent over there. I'm gonna say this from our side because we just use the launchpad from Virtuals. So in our case, what happened is like we were approached by the Virtuals team. They gave us a lot of support. They saw a lot of potential in what we were building at the time. We had like just a few lines of code. We had a good Gitbook, and they provided us, they help us to do the launch over there. But we didn't use the structure from the LLM, even though we're gonna have on the framework later because we want as well, our plan in replicates as well is to become a launchpad as well. But we're going to be a more complex launchpad because we do have the first agent that we're building, and we're going to enable people to do as well the same stuff. So let's say Prashant come over or Melvin comes over and he's like a great trader. He knows a lot about algo. He's going to plug into our system, use our framework, and they can launch over there. But this is very complicated to let everyone launch a token, right? Because if we enable everyone to come over to replicates and launch a token, that means we're going to have a lot of agents that are not profitable. They lose money, and this is super important for us as trading agents, right? But back to virtuals, I think virtuals they are very good at building community ecosystem. They have right now a campaign that's super interesting about the points. Like you have to hold the agents, so you do have some points where you can participate. I haven't participated, to be honest. I'm too busy working these days, and I couldn't even participate in the launches. But they do have their own flywheels, which are very important for newcomers. But you guys can.
But do you really think, like, creating, like you said, that it's going to be a complex launch with Replicats itself?
Mhm.
But do you think, like, recreating this flywheel would be a better option? Because we understand that there is some net positive liquidity in the market, and which needs to be translated to other launch pads. So how would you be able to uh, revitalize that for your launch pad?
Mhm.
Like, is there some set of strategy to do it, like in terms of bringing in more people who are more Web2 centric to do that, or bringing Web3 people onto that?
Okay, so this is a good question, very good question. Let me see if I understood it wrong. Like in our case, what we see right now as a potential customer of the Launchpad as a builder over there, someone who builds an agent, we're going to be working with people who are with people or companies that are like closer to hedge funds that they do have the strategies in place. So those are we're going to have. It's more like a B2B marketing strategy that we're going to be having to bring those guys inside. But on the other side, we have the users. The idea is like the user will come over, check the platform, see which agents has a risk profile that matches what he wants, what kind of trades the agent do. So for example, right now, the first one that we're building is trading on base and it's using crypto assets. But we are already developing right now one that's going to be trading indexes, Forex, and gold and silver, for example. So you come over to the platform, you see what it is. But at the same time, what we want to build on Replicats that's going to be super important for us is help those guys who build agents to do a good distribution. So we're working a lot right now, strategizing. We're still early stage, but we want to make sure that if you come over to our platform, you build an agent, your agent is profitable, it's market has market fit. People are looking to build that stuff, being like early stage, or maybe gold, or maybe just exchanging commodities, for example. We want to help you we want to help those guys who build this thing to distribute as well. So user acquisition. Also, we're gonna have our plan is to become. We are building towards becoming a software as a service. So everyone who has already an account with us will be able to just with one click deploy a new wallet and have this new agent trading over there. But we also want to make like Melvin, Prashant, you, if you come over and build your agents, we're going to help you with distribution, brand building as well. So we're going to try to create this different flywheel with us.
Amazing. This is something I think which is required right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would love to see the product as well. Like if you can showcase what it is, and I've seen it, and I truly like the way they are trying to navigate this market.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me to completely understand this POV that you are going to get some sort of liquidity from other aspects as well. That is something which is more freshly put out than any other AI-Fi agents which are there, which are utilizing the same amount of giving out alphas for people to buy in.
Mm-hmm.
That is, yes, that is one way. Like, definitely there are users who are going to do that. But the amount of platforms which are providing so many alphas, I can just go ahead and I can create a feed of all of those agents which are providing
Yeah.
that, and I can put it out there. There are so many, honestly, and there are so many ways to uh, do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would love to see the product as well, like Guto, and would
Awesome.
love to go into like,
Can
yeah.
I share my screen?
Would you be able to? Yeah, yeah, you
I'm
can.
gonna do a super quick demo for you guys, just to don't waste much time over here. This is a disclaimer before everything. This is a very early stage. This is the first iteration that we have from the conversational terminal that we're building, right? I think I'm already logged in. No, let me try over here. So pretty much like we're providing in this first iteration of AI, this is a sandbox environment still. So there are mistakes. The data is not market correct yet, but you guys can see the feeling over here. So you log in. As soon as someone logs into the platform, they're gonna have a wallet that is managed by it's a non-custodial wallet. Like we're using Dynamic for that, just like Privy, any one of them. Right now, I see that the agent right now is not connected. But pretty much like what we plan is you get over here. You're gonna see several agents. This is the first one that we're building. Replicat one is trading live on base right now. It exists. It's still on stealth because we're making some changes in the trading behavior of the agent. We're fine tuning the algo, but pretty much you come over here, you see what you see. You should be able to see the portfolio of the agent over here, and how was the PNL from the last 7, 30, 60, 90 days. So you choose over here how you want. So for example, this one, as I said, it trades on base. You can see more about the agent over here. Let's see if it works. Maybe it's down today. But you get over here, you see over here this is all the things that we are using for risk management. All of these metrics over here were the ones that the agent uses to make decisions of buy, hold, sell, DCA, leave one position, DCA in, DCA out. So for example, you see over here all the things. You should be able to see the portfolio divided between all the assets that you choose. And through this LLM that we have over here, you can have conversation about the agents. I'm not sure if it's going to work. How is the market today? Let's see if it works. I'm not sure. I think it's offline.
Praying to the gods of demo.
Yeah, the gods of demo, exactly. But either way, like in this place here, you can see everything. You can fine tune the agent. You deposit some wallets. We are trying to work as much as we can with stable coins, and also we believe that everything is moving to stable coins right now. If you guys saw what happened last week with this announcement from Stripe about how everything is going to become a stable coin for Stripe. So pretty much you can just withdraw from Stripe directly to your Replicates account. You decide whatever you want to do with your portfolio. So it doesn't work only for to the small consumer, but also for small business. They make the decisions and you let this portfolio run for you. And you can come here every day, have conversation with the agent, ask how the market is. We're trying right now to integrate with news sources as well, not only for the trading, but also for the user as well. So you can come over and say like, hey, what's happening today with crypto? Why is it even going up? And he can find some data and put it over here for you guys. Make sense? It's still, as I said, we're still super early. We plan right now to have the final version of the terminal by the end of June. And in July, that's when we start the trading system, what we call the automated wallet management. That's the moment that everyone can deposit money in the wallet managed by the agent. You deploy, you just click on this button over here, you deploy, so it's not yet live. You deploy, you choose how much you want the agent to handle, your risk management, and it trades for you based on the parameters, and you can set some as well. And that's it.
Cool.
Pretty cool, honestly. Like
Prakash,
I like the
to answer your
experience,
question
but
about
I would love
virtuals,
to.
one of the things basically that uh, since we recently launched on virtuals, one of the things for new creators who are coming on board onto virtuals, I would totally recommend using a launchpad is because if you're a creator, if you're a builder, one of the things is that you want to be in a build phase. You want to focus on two, three things. One is focus on your product. Second is get growth, get distribution, and get to your right user and figure out your user persona, right? And these are all tough problems in itself. So when you add a token into the mix, a lot of the times when tokens have been launched before, founding teams have struggled to differentiate between focusing on the product or focusing on the token. And honestly, after launching, we also have the same problem. But to a large extent, a couple of things that have been taken away from us, and Virtuals is handling it. A launchpad like Virtuals is handling it. Is one thing is we don't have to worry about all these, hiring market makers, making sure the tokens are staying up. And also, Virtuals kind of does that to a large extent for you because with the Genesis Launchpad, it's very difficult to game the system to get a large percentage of the token. So for doing a fair launch, they're putting in a lot of effort to basically do that. Second thing is that when you actually deploy smart contracts, security is the biggest headache. Which day will you get hacked is what everyone's worry is. And in between building product and making sure that you don't get hacked, people tend to prioritize not getting hacked because it's reputation loss. And that's one problem that virtuals actually big problem that's solved for you. So you can, as a creator and as a builder, you can always be in the build phase. Right. So that's a main thing that basically enabled us to basically do it. The third thing that we realized is that there's two things about the token, the utility bit as well. The token going up in price, there's a market for it, people believing it, and all those things. And there's a utility that we're building. So in use cases like DeFi use cases, both token and utility go hand in hand. In a use case like ours, it is separated. So for us, it becomes more important to use launchpads and use tokens as compared to Web3, Web2 kind of builders, because one thing that tokens help you do is get your users quickly. You can use tokens, you can airdrop them to basically get to your target user faster, acquire the users, and use that as a tool for growth. And that is one thing that Web2 products don't have. And if we see that AI agent is the meta, and we say that okay, everything is going to be AI agent, if there are consumer facing applications and you have AI agents, I believe that having a token gives you an advantage in basically beating all the Web2 AI agents, anything that's consumer facing, because you can achieve.
But like in terms of risk to reward ratio, right? Like there are people who are utilizing your token for these. So there are two types of people, like who really want to use your agent, and then there are people who really want to
Right.
make money from your agent by riding the wave through it. So, for example, if the narrative is running through, you guys are doing great. They just want to jump on the bandwagon, make money through it. So, how do
Right.
you
I agree with you. I agree with
classify
you.
which kind of people
I don't see
is
them
that
as
and which?
people sucking away value from the system. I would rather say that they are the earliest investors. Now, think about it this way: you pitched a crazy idea to a VC who has literally no idea about what you're building, doesn't have any idea of the space. A lot of times, you just say, "Hey, I don't even know this guy is smoking some pot," and then pitching his product. But what happens is, if you're building on the fringe and you're building on the edge of what is possible, a lot of times your true believers are also putting in money. So the way I'm seeing early token buyers are basically retail investors who really want to believe in it, rather than looking it as like people who are taking away value. I look it as like Kickstarter campaigns. Think about like Kickstarter campaign. That's literally how I see this, is that you have a bunch of early believers who believe that, hey, this is a trend, we see this trend. People in sitting in San Francisco in offices over there may not be able to see it. We find those people who are willing to back us, and we basically pitch it to them, and they're the ones like, hey, you know what, we see there's potential, we are okay with the risk, and they're also taking the risk along with you, right? The token can dump, right? So that's, and they're willing to hold, a lot of them are willing to hold to see this through. And this is not just specific to our domain. There are a lot of domains in which this kind of behavior happens, like indie game developers. Over in indie game development space, a lot of people want to see indie movies and indie develop games come out, and people are willing to pay for it and fund those without any expectation of returns. Right. So that behavior is already there. It's just that when you tokenize it, definitely it attracts a different kind of expectations as well. But the way we see it is, okay, fine. These are the believers. They put money in us initially. They believe in us. They are pumping it up, which means they're also helping us market. They're also spreading the word. They're spreading the word a lot, and that's how they're supporting us as well. So they have the incentive. The token price goes up, they also go up, so they talk about it as well. Gives us a lot of visibility, which is very difficult to bootstrap as a Web2 company.
That's,
Um,
I think that's very, very nicely put, Melvin, and love that entire. I've been explaining this to a lot of indie founders also to do this
right.
to go but there's always and this is what we have been discussing day before yesterday, I guess, with the teams from Loki, from Virtual, who have launched the virtual tokens, and then some of the great and they have been doing quite amazing stuff. Like they have been very bottomed out, and now they are like 4x, 5x their FDV and all the stuff. But one thing which I personally wanted to add on here, and with a very quick example as well, and we tested it multiple times in Spheron. Like in the history of 4 years of Spheron, we tested it in multiple phases, and it does work. So it is a crazy way of where I relate it to this. If you guys know that in Web2 there's a artificial way of inflating, or you can say not artificial way of inflating. There's a artificial way of bringing more and more numbers called you go and gig tech economies there, right? Where you have all of these new apps where they have, let's say, 10,000 users, 20,000 users on ground, on WhatsApp community. They drop in your link, they go and use your product, give you the feedback, and all of those things happens. And when that happens, then Google starts thinking, okay, this product is something which I should just promote or highlight in my Play Store. And that's how you gain the momentum, right? And all the momentum, and this is where people don't understand this. Launching a token is never a bad idea. Launching a token with the bad intention is a bad idea. Launching a token with the right intention is never a bad idea. Even
Right.
if you go zero today, tomorrow zero, they know you are gonna, like, all the startups are gonna go zero someday, today, tomorrow, down the line. Most of these tokens won't even exist. We have 10,000, 20,000 tokens, 100,000 tokens which are getting launched. But understanding a founder, why he is doing that, giving him the space and early liquidity and fast capital, which I call it a fast capital. The reason, the moment you have a fast capital, then you can go as fast as you can, right? Immediately, before anyone, because in the world of where AI, where anyone can now build the product, how are you going to differentiate yourself with any other person? The only way you can differentiate is like how fast you go to the market with the right capital, incentive, and onboarding the users. And the only way to do it is the token, right?
Yeah.
In Web3. In Web 2, they will learn it. And they're already, by the way, and I also go with the entire approach of this one. People tell that Web 2 don't have this. You know what? This has been started by Web 2. Token system was started by Web 2. The credit systems, bootstrapping the credit systems. Like you go and buy this token, I'll buy this coffee from Costa or Starbucks and all of those things. What were those things, right? The best thing,
Yeah.
but the best thing which we are doing in Web3 is we are saying you just don't buy, you also own along with us, right? You also ride the wave
Hmm.
along with us. Why you should have $1 of credit in your wallet always, which does anything? Why can't we that credit becoming inflationary or deflationary or whatever along with my journey?
Right.
And also you create like global
Yeah,
markets, right? Like you don't have, for example, you said about the coffees, like usually for people who walk into the store and maybe they are based in the US or whatever it is. So you open this capital market for worldwide participation as well. It's perfect what you
yeah,
said.
and it's amazing. I've fallen in love into this concept of, and that's the reason I never left Web3 because there are multiple times I met a lot of Web2 folks like. Some of them. And by the way, the thing which we have built at Spheron, we have got Web2 offers also, like where people are raising around 50 million, $100 million and all of those stuff. And our concern was very simple, is that what am I going to do with that? Right? What am I going to supposed to here? The thing which we are building, it's more decentralized, it's more global. From day one, there's no borderless, there's no paywalls, there are tons of things which you can just go and do it, raise capital, bring more users, make them the part of your community. Like it's fun.
Yeah.
Not even fun. It's fast. It's fascinating to see is that how global capital, when come together, can function as a single entity,
Right.
right? And that's what Web3 is all about. I look at Web3 as a global capital coming at a one place and performing a single entity and distributing that capital to each and every right individual and bad individual as well, which is the part of the entire like building journey. This is how it works, but there's always a very high upside. So I'll pause here, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I wanted to just add on.
I was just thinking I could showcase the character of Bernie. If you don't mind,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
just
I would love to see,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I'm craving, like I really want to research as soon as we
don't
end this
don't roast
call.
me.
I love the
Don't
idea.
roast me.
I'm just giving an intro of Bernie. Can you see the window?
Oh, nice. Yeah,
It looks like a friend of mine.
yeah.
It reminds me of a friend of mine. Really.
I'm Bernie, your
I'm
code
gonna send him
executioner
this
for
picture.
today.
Oh,
Well, well,
he's
well, like fresh meat. I'm Bernie, your code executioner for today. I've seen kindergartners write better algorithms than most senior devs. Don't worry, though. I only roast the code I care about. And today I'm feeling just charitable enough to dignify your work with my critique. Brace yourselves for some brutal honesty. Your IDEs won't be the only things running hot today.
So this is just a quick intro. How it works as a product is that all you need to do is you one second. Let
connect
me
your
just
code and get roasted.
yes. You basically share your. Can you see the screen of Twitter? So
Yeah,
you all
got
you
it,
need
got it.
go to Twitter, give tag Bernie and give a GitHub repository over here. He will generate the roast. Right now we have a image roast. We'll be converting that into the video roast. So it's like hardcoded credentials and insecure HTTP. Are we competing for vintage developer awards already? So it's just brutal,
This is
right? So
Brutal.
this is not just it. Basically, he has a serious part to it as well. He gives you a full-fledged um,
Oh,
risk.
nice. Fun along with the right kind of intention.
Yeah. So you have the full detail analysis as well, in insights, what is issue, code and security quality that you have, performance issues that you have, overall performance. It's like lightweight design, minimal code. So he does give good stuff, but he always leads with the roast.
Can I
So
can I give a small idea here, by the way?
uh-huh.
And to both of you, Gutu and Melvin, and if you guys can have that, we will get it integrated with Skynet. Like we are currently working something very cool, which I'd love to kind of show you guys a demo. But if you guys can have or anything which is more of MCP kind of a stuff, which if you guys can have,
Mhm.
or any kind of those things which you can just build along with it, the distribution will become insane.
Right.
Just FYI.
We
Um,
would love to actually learn more about how you're thinking about it, because we
so is
do. Virtual does have this ACP thing, which is Agent Commerce Protocol. So is it similar to that?
No,
MCP is a model. It's a different one.
Right.
It's a different one. ACP is more of like agent commerce and stuff. So
Right. Payment.
yeah. So here is how we are kind of like working with Skynet is that let's say Guto is there, Melvin is there, right? You guys have like I how I see the world is a very simple thing, and everyone cannot do everyone's job. Like it's very simple. Like you have your own expertise. In the same call, we three or we four of us have very different expertise. Melvin has just showed a very amazing thing around the code, and he can just roast the code, and he has wrote logic. While Guto has something which is more of a trading related stuff because that's where their expertise lies into. We are more around computer, and that is where we learn like how just see how fascinating this entire like table is. And even Prakash has a different skill set. So I think that's what we wanted to build at Skynet. What we are like launching is where you bring in different skill set agents together, put them as a one. So let's say I say, you know what, uh, roast this guy's GitHub, but you know what, just look at his CA. Did he launch any token or not? If he launched a token, go and buy that token in the market and support him. You can build the entire flow of it, right?
So
That's
you're
one thing.
leveraging two different agents,
Yeah,
trying.
multiple agents.
Oh, got it.
Multiple
Got it.
agents. So you can drag and drop, build multiple agents, connect them together. And the only way we can do that, for example, in the Guto case, right? So what we are building is like, hey, you know what? Bring the CoinGecko terminal, all of those data sets, put that into what Guto and somebody has built around there, pass it into their system in the trading side because they're experts into that. Put all of those things there, and they will execute straight on your behalf, right? Now, for me as somebody, if I want to go ahead and do that, I can just build an entire flow around it as a like Zapier or something like that kind of flow, where these agents are intercommunicating with each other, ensuring that they're reaching to final output. Now, this entire flow can be built as a micro SaaS, right? Where you can build a small micro SaaS as an agent, and then you deploy it for your own community, and your community can just go and play around with that. So that's
Understood.
that's what is coming on a scanner, and that's why I just told is that if you guys have that MCP, and if you don't have a plan, I would highly recommend to have it because not only us, there are a lot of like vertical, even horizontal side. You have a massive distribution which can get opened up.
Mhm. This is interesting. Actually, would love to explore this further, Prashant.
I think this is the reason we do this streams itself. This is one of this has become our integration funnel for us to bring people on stream and then vertically integrate with
Now
them
that I've said it, I need to do
on
it.
on the stream. So yeah, Guto and Melvin, you guys have said it. So you have to integrate us by the end of this week. And
I'm gonna bring my tech team over here.
You need to convince the
Yeah,
CTO
but
though.
but it's amazing, right? So I think it's a very fair, and anyone who will be listening this entire podcast, like they will also be having a good understanding and output of it. What you guys are, and honestly, like what you guys have just shared around virtual, it's quite amazing. And what you guys have shared around your product, it's insane. Just imagine what you guys have just built. Like people don't even realize that. And why I should not go ahead and
Yeah.
support you guys buying your token out in the market rather than somebody else who I don't even know. Why should I buy and announce? And that's what we have to be vocal about. And this is where I am becoming more vocal about, honestly,
Correct.
where I'm going one step further and I'm supporting. And even I know my money might go to zero. It doesn't matter. But I did supported Melvin's journey. I did support his Guto's journey in buying the token out and funding them in multiple ways. So I think that's something which we all should embrace as well
Right.
from after we leave this space. But I'll
Right.
hand over mic again to Prakash.
I think nobody's journey is going to zero as we see their charts. So it's going up only, and I like that in terms of in terms of supporting builders throughout and supporting builders in this space. But thank you so much, Melvin and Guto, for taking the time out and being here with us. We sometimes like there are few builders out there are one of the biggest reasons we keep on building because of the honesty and the genuineness of this space. And we love that. Like you guys have been into this space for a long amount of time, similarly for Spheron itself. And it's time we give back the control to the builders and not to some set of people sitting in XYZ location in the world. So
Yep.
thank you so much for joining in, guys. And anybody who's watching this, please follow Speron, please follow Bernie and Replicats, and we'll be bringing such more content for you guys every week. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.